The entire imperial capital fell into shock. The assassination of Bartholomew J. Bourgeois, head of the Bourgeois family, the disappearance of Cardinal Humbert of the Holy State Quo Vadis, and even the Night Hound being named as the mastermind behind it all. According to the investigation, the Night Hound intruded during Bartholomew's banquet with the academy students, and through Bartholomew's heroic sacrifice, all students were rescued safely. However, unfortunately, most of the students who survived testified that they had no memory of the incident. Damien J. Bourgeois, acting head of the Bourgeois family, stated that the situation will be resolved as quickly as possible, and officially announced that since a successor has already been decided, the confusion will soon subside, bringing the incident to a temporary close. Meanwhile, despite the assassination of the Bourgeois family head and the disappearance of the Quo Vadis cardinal, Colosio Academy was fully occupied with preparations for final exams and the parents' observation events. "Whoa, is this a school or a botanical garden?" said tutor. Bianca then said, "Why did the principal wish to start such large-scale construction as soon as he came back, making the school noisy?" Sancho then said, "Still, doesn't the school smell nicer than before?" "Yeah," tutor replied, "it just smells like fertilizer." PG then said, "Because of the upcoming parents' visitation events, it looks like they are doing beautification projects all over the place. Even the training hall that had mana barrier issues during the midterm seems to be reinforced with mana stone in preparation for the final ranking matches. It feels a bit excessive, probably because they are conscious of guests from the 7 great families." "All that showmanship," said Bianca. Tutor then asked, "But have you still not made up with Sinclair?" Bianca, "I heard you even changed dorm rooms." Bianca then said, "I told you several times we didn't even fight to begin with. For days now, she hasn't responded when I talk to her and looks really unwell. So I just moved rooms temporarily to give her some time to think alone." PG then said, "Come to think of it, she hasn't been attending classes either. I don't think I've seen her outside." "You don't unless it was for training." Sancho then asked, "Did something really happen?" At that moment, Dolores then called them. They all replied, "President Dolores." She then said, "Have you been well? It's been a while." Bianca then says, "Have you been well? But your outfit, President." She then said, "The student council is leading the preparation for both the competition and the events, so I'm wearing this in an administrative capacity." They were all surprised by this. PG then said, "You must have been shaking after the head of the family incident, please don't push yourself too hard." Dolores then said, "Ha, it is fine. I had something like a blindfold over my eyes, so I didn't really see what happened." Tutor then said, "The Night Hound dare take the president hostage. If I run into him again, I'll catch him no matter what." Says the one who froze up, and couldn't do anything at last festival, said Bianca. Dolores then said, "Come to think of it, didn't the others come with you? We haven't seen Sinclair for a long time either. We're worried, but for some reason, she keep avoiding us." Dolores then said, "I see." As she thought to herself, "We really should go see Sinclair soon." She looked really confused back then, but after seeing a demon right in front of her, and even watching someone die, it's only natural she'd be shocked. And on top of that, I was the only one who ran away. PG then said, As for Vikir, he went back to the dorms first, probably spending time alone like last time." Tutor immediately covered his mouth and then said, "Vikir said he was going to train, and went back earlier." Sweat on the ground. Everyone was surprised to see Vikir raising pounds of weight like it was nothing. He looked in the mirror as he thought to himself, the Decarabia, after using all his remaining mana to protect the Saintess and falling asleep, he still hasn't woken up. He was more helpful than expected, in the fight against the 6th corpse. Since I was wearing him openly around my neck, the Saintess might have noticed my identity. But I could alter our memories through Decarabia's mind control. However, because my control was still unrefined, the mana consumption was too high. That's why I got exhausted so easily during the fight with Belial. I'll need to be more careful from now on. And unlike before the regression, I'm trying to delay the age of destruction by eliminating the 10 corpses. But at the same time, history is changing just as much. Now it's hard to predict the future using only pre-regression knowledge. Also, I have already entered the Supreme Realm, and opened the door to Baskerville 8 form beyond the 7th, but without the Saintess buff, it's incomplete power. Meanwhile, the remaining 10 corpses are becoming more aware of the situation, and will gather even greater power to avoid interference. Damn it, My head keeps pounding. Did I drink all the water already? Sinclair offered him a drink from behind, as she called him bro. In the night and starry sky, they say on the roof, as they began to drink, Sinclair then said, nothing beats a cold beer after working out. But why are you drinking a soft drink, bro? I've got one more, can want it. Vikir said, no, thanks, drinking after exercise interferes with muscle growth, so I don't drink. She then said, then don't drink it. By the way, did I ever tell you before that I come here to look at the Milky Way when I feel down? Vikir immediately replied, you did. Sinclair then said, I see you remembered. Vikir then thought to himself, was she pretending just to be okay? Before the regression, even after battles with the demon ended, many comrades suffer severe mental after effects. Sinclair too, probably. He then said to her, your expression doesn't look good. Sinclair then said, you can tell. I'm fine. Vikir then asked, is it because of what happened at the Bourgeois family? Immediately, Sinclair was shocked by his question. She was shaking as she said, that day, I don't remember anything at all. Vikir, I was surprised by her reaction. She was also surprised to see that she was also crying. She then said, why are tears falling? I wasn't trying to cry. I'm fine though, I'm fine. I'm really fine. Then why do tears keep coming? Vikir immediately grabbed her hand as he asked her, what happened? What on earth did this to you? He then thought to himself, I knew it, leaving you alone back then was my mistake. Sinclair then said, killed him. Vikir was surprised by what she said, as he asked what. She then said, the Night Hound, killed my father.